Right. Hello, everyone. It's Dr. Nezobaya here with EzLivingMD.PT. I'm just here to talk about the mistakes people keep making when it comes to health and wellness that's really sabotaging your health and wellness and has you running all over the place, making things turn to something more chronic than they need to be, and just, debilitating your life in the process. When I say debilitating, sometimes it could be as simple as like brain fog or like just a headache or constipation, and you're just sitting on it because you feel like you want to take more stuff, right? Constipation, I'm going to take prunes. I'm going to have prune juice. I'm going to take a laxative. Brain fog, I'm going to, take some magnesium for my brain. I'm going to take this herb and ginkgo biloba that's going to help. But more than 80% of chronic diseases or even issues that come up that end up being chronic, right? Because they end up being chronic because they're acute, is from toxins in the body. What are toxins? Anything that's not appropriate for that body to have. For somebody that might have some meat, they're okay. Somebody else has meat without estrogen, it's a problem. It's a toxin for the person. Just like, relationship, you with one person might be great, but that same person with somebody else, it's a toxic relationship. That's what a toxin is. And so you have to learn to understand, there are some universal toxins we know about. Plastics, endocrine disruptors, aluminum in the air and stuff like that. But you have to know what your own toxin is. Okay, that's one. But two, this idea of always putting something in when something's happening to you is something that a lot of society, unfortunately, the medical community has perpetuated that. Because when you go to see the doctor, no one's asking you, what are you taking in that might be causing the issue? What are you doing that might be causing the issue with stress, relationship, the food you're eating, something you're taking? It might be your work environment. Now that they found these notes, money notes and receipts can actually have toxins on them when you keep touching it all the time. So you're at risk for stuff with that. And then all the food stuff that's contaminated, And so when we're having some of these issues, we're not saying, what do I need to take out? We always want to take something in. And if that's the mentality you have, you want to hit a reset button on that because that mentality is not just going to be something that's like for like your food, nutrition, and your health. It's just life in general. Life in general. People have habits that are not sustainable. They're not good for their health. They're not good for aging well. None of that. And instead of getting rid of those habits, they want to add new habits while that's going on. You can't have your body and it's doing all this work and all the trash is getting full and it's just clogging up the whole system. And your idea of making it feel better is to bring more wonderful smelling food into the trash that's already in the kitchen, that's, contaminated, that's smelling, that's breeding all sorts of organisms and maggots and stuff. And you bring good food in there and you think that that's going to change something. It's not. Okay? And so when I'm talking about first cleaning out, a lot of times when you can effectively clean out, detoxify, and there's many ways to do it, but what is the way that's going to work for you? What detox organs of yours are actually more blocked up that you need to clean out so you can actually detox effectively? What part of your nervous system is more active so that the body actually detoxes with whatever it is you're like? There's some minutia to the whole process. Figuring that stuff out and then cleaning out and then allowing the body to be in an optimal balanced state that it can actually regulate itself. Because then a lot of times that's all you need. A lot of times that is all you need. I'm going to say a lot of times that is all you need. A lot of times after people have completed my detox programs, they're sort of good. They're good. Like, they're going out to maintain themselves, If they want to prolong that a little bit, so I work with them, if they have more severe issues or it's been going on for a long time, then they make that choice. But all of it is to make sure I'm not going to be your crutch. You start understanding yourself better. I've had people after they clean out, especially with the cellular detox we do here, which you'll see some of, that when they go back, they can't eat what they used to eat before. Because it's different. You just cleaned out the kitchen, took out the trash, air fresheners in, essential oil, smelling good, and somebody walks in with a rotten banana or some rotten egg. What do you think you're going to do? But before, you were so used to it that your body didn't react. You kind of deadened, desensitized the body to it. And if you keep up going back in that direction, you just end up where you were, and then you come see the doctor again and you say, well, the doctor's trying to keep you sick. No, that's you. And I'm trying to help you here to change that mindset. And so start thinking a lot more in terms of what you can take out first before just putting things in. Make a switch. Just even the body with acidosis, which is the main thing behind a lot of arthritis is acidosis. And then there's inflammation too. It's all part of the process. So you want to take pain medicine because it hurts. But a lot of times, what's causing the acidity and the inflammation is some of the foods and stuff that you're having, or how you're breathing. Yes, it's a thing. Yes. But yes. And so people are drinking coffee, caffeine, and acidity will increase all that stuff in the body. People are having processed foods, sugar, processed sugar, even the artificial sweeteners out there. Those things will cause the body to be more acidic. There's a whole spectrum of foods that cause a lot of acidity in the body. You want to take out those things. When you start learning to do these things specifically for yourself, you might not even need to come see me. That's fine. I am all for this world leaving sickness behind. It makes no sense just to make money off of sickness anymore. It's ridiculous, because at the end of the day, if that's all you're geared towards, it's going to come knocking at your door too. I'm talking to all y'all health professionals. Listen, it's going to come knocking so hard on your door because all you did was keep people in that cycle. So please, let's break people out of this cycle. We do not need it knocking on our doors, because it's going to knock on your door, especially because we just believe that the healthcare system is just a thing of, when you get older, you get sick. That wasn't the way it was meant to happen. We're not in alignment with a lot of things anymore. We're not in alignment with nature and how things were meant to be. It's not that we weren't meant to make progress. It wasn't that we weren't meant to evolve. It wasn't meant that science wasn't meant to learn all these new things that science keeps learning. But we took it a little too far and went out of alignment with nature, and the way we were meant to evolve has changed because of that. In the sense that, unfortunately, science, when they find something wonderful, they want to kind of make so much profit out of it. They go a little too far extreme with it and lose sense of where it came from. And also recognizing that, science is wonderful. I keep saying this, science is wonderful, but what's true for science today might be false for science tomorrow, because science is still learning. It's like a baby. It's just growing every day and learning from the environment, learning from nature, breaking things down to create a better understanding. So of course that's going to happen, and so being open to that happening. And if you want to stay ahead of the game, you have to accept that you cannot just rely on that. You have to look deeper for a lot of more connections for health and wellness. Okay, so again, the major thing you're missing that's sabotaging you feeling better, you getting better, you preventing chronic diseases, you actually aging well, is learning specifically for you what you need to take out of your bodies, out of your diet and nutrition, out of your workouts. Yes, I said it because, firstly, guys and girls do not need to be. Don't hate me for this. It's true. We have a uterus for a reason, and they have a penis and XY and testosterone, and all that is different. We just do things differently, okay? We can't work out consistently as guys do and not think that something isn't going to shift. Something is going to shift. It's a matter of if you're okay with it. If you are, then it's fine. And I know because I've been there. I have to check myself. Okay, so even with exercise. And if you're in your 20s and your 40s, you definitely can't be working out like you did when you were 20s without a strategic, very strategic plan for your workout, for your recovery, and everything else in your life. Okay. And depending on the kind of job you have, you can't just go out and do what everybody else is doing. This is the thing. This is the thing. People are signing up for things and plans and all that without first figuring out, is it for me? What do I need to take out? I am constantly revamping people's plans because I say, hey, you need to take this out in the morning. You cannot do this 4 or 5 days in the morning. You have to put something here in the evening because this is what's going on with your system at this time. That's what I'm talking about. So even with food, nutrition, workouts, exercises, emotions, relationships. Now, the thing with relationships is that it's tricky, right? With relationships, people, work, jobs, that type of stuff. People want to say, oh, it's a toxic relationship. That's a toxic person. That's a toxic boss, toxic job. And it's triggering you. You're having issues from this, but you have to realize whenever something's doing that to you, there's something in there for you to learn that you brought that situation to yourself. We are responsible for a lot of those things because our bodies are not just these physical states that we see. There's energy, and based on what's going on with our energy, our experiences from childhood, growing up till today, all of that stuff accumulates. And there's certain frequencies we're carrying, and the universe and God is always for us to realign, always for us to do better, always for us to move in a direction that's more in alignment with God and source. And so when these experiences come in that we say we need to detox from, the change usually has to take place with you first. There's something that you need to shift in yourself. There's something that you need to change, something you need to detox, so that with your own physical state and your vibration, you are like an antenna bringing these things in, so then those things will change. And if they don't, you actually feel okay in it because you have done the work for your internal self. Okay? So, again, people talk about me niching and who do you really take care of? And this is the thing. It's a wonderful thing to have a specific thing, which is, part of what I'm doing. But when my goal and part of my mission is to let people really open up to start seeing, not just saying, okay, the physical stuff and law of attraction and all this stuff is connected. People say that stuff, but they don't actually come down and see that it is truly all connected. And so when I start talking about things like detox, I'm talking about foods and nutrition. I want to make it commonplace to also address what's going on mentally, what's going on emotionally, what's going on in your life, what's going on in your relationships, what is going on with your everything, because everything is related. Everything is connected. Okay, the stuff with the brain could be coming from the gut, it could be coming from the adrenals, it could be coming from the toxins that's not letting the metabolism, like everything. Okay, I mean, even with the immune system, they found different emotions that will shut the immune system down by more than 70%, like anger. It's all connected. So you come to the doctor because you're having immune issues, but then you have anger problems. And anger is not like just being angry out there. There's anger that you actually hold in the body because you want to be all grown up and cool, which is cool. But then you haven't learned a healthy way to let that anger not create problems in your physical body, in your cells, in your immune system. And a lot of times that's like the main thing. So you're running around doing all this stuff and you don't recognize that it's your problem with anger, or and specifically what type of anger. You haven't forgiven someone, or you actually resent someone for what is that context going on with you? Okay? Or you just have developed something in the past that you actually don't like about yourself, that maybe you actually hate about yourself, but you're not even aware. Those little things. So when you see me talking, and I'm talking not just about the food and the diet and the exercise, but I'm bringing all these because I want you to start having the mindset shift with stuff you do, how you speak to people, how you speak to others, your thoughts, your emotions, how you respond, what you're thinking when you're picking up the food that you're eating. Are you doing it unconsciously or consciously? So that you start recognizing what you need to remove, what you need to detox from your life, from your atmosphere. And keep moving in that same way. It might seem like it might be harder or more to do initially, but that's what comes with making your life easy. It's learning that and being disciplined with it and getting into a momentum with it and having more mastery with that in terms of the way your life is, that then makes it easy. Because the other section where people think, oh yeah, I'm just going to pop this and I'm just going to do this and I'm going to keep going, I don't need to tell you that that's not the easy way out. Just look at the state of the world today and people and health and sickness. It is a no-brainer. It is not. That's the harder way out because there's more suffering. You just prolonged it. It's the same thing with people when they come in to sign up for plans sometimes, and they have all this stuff I lay down that they have to do. It's going to take 3 or 6 months, and they're like, oh, I'm going to just take this first and take that first, and not recognizing that the longer that's going on, the more it's going to hit you from the back. And when I mean hit you from the back, it's not just with investing in it financially. It's with everything else. Like your relationships are going to take a hit. Your energy to do things that you want to do is going to take a hit for your relationship, for reviving your marriage, for being more in tune with your children so they don't get lost in this 1 year that you're stressed out with your job, but you don't have time to sit down and get your health and wellness together, which if you did, you would be able to balance both better. Okay, which if you're well rested and waking up with a clear mind, you can actually be more creative and make better decisions and take better chances, and then really invest in things that are more of your purpose. Things like that people don't connect with down the line that can really influence everything. So it's all disconnected. And I'm making that connection. That's why people come in for my first visit. All this stuff expands and they're like, whoa and whoa. And I'm like, yes and yes. And that's how you need to shift your mindset. When you want to do things like this, start today. Don't wait till tomorrow. Start it now and do it in every moment. Just check in. Take a look around. What do I need to change? What do I need to do better? Am I used to working in chaos? That's why I'm always tired. Am I always caught up in this stuff from the past because I'm still angry? And then it feeds into the body. And next thing you're angry at the person in front of you, when that person in front of you was not even the issue back then. Or the person in front of you was the issue, but you're in a whole different situation. You're still carrying that on the person, but then it's affecting you. And yes, I have had people come in here when they start going off in one direction about a situation or event or in a person, they're able to say, my physical problem, disease, started around that time too. And I'm like, okay. Now we're heading somewhere. Let's dig deeper about that. Okay? That's a lot of what it is. And a lot of times people are not ready to face that. I'm telling you, take a deep breath and just face it. Take a deep breath and just face it. Don't wait. Invest in it. The reward down the road is going to be so much better when you do that now, when you do that today. I see it with my patients all the time. I see it with my life all the time. When I take the time to, example, let me wake up and see that I started having bags under my eyes, because I know you've seen some of my videos when that's there. I'm telling my husband the next week or two, I'm taking some few days. I need to sleep. This is not happening. Something is going on. What is the problem here? Is it worth it for me to keep going, or do I need to just, boom, I need to stop and take care? No, it's not going to be 5 years later, a year later, because I'm so busy at work and this, and then I'm so sunk in, and then you want to go in. How am I going to take care of this, doctor? Okay, now you need to do this, now you need to do that. No. And then I'm talking about, this is me with my eyes, right? But I'm talking about things like even with arthritis, with pain, especially with physical therapy that I do with my husband. Pain is something that when you start having it, yes, you want to take care of it in a sense where you want to understand it right away, do something about it right away, make the investment you need to make right away, because that is the biggest way to prevent that pain from becoming chronic. And I'm not talking about popping a pill. I'm not talking about popping a pill. Okay? You need to make a shift. I'll give you an example. When I hurt I tore my ACL in karate, and I was so upset because I don't know if you know me, in karate and martial arts, it's been my thing since I was maybe 2 years old. My mom said I kicked her so much, but I kicked her like in the womb. When that happened, I had to sit down and be like, what is going on? Like, why did this have to happen? Was it just a fluke accident? I divined about it, I prayed about it, and Spirit is like, you need to slow down. There's other things we want you to learn with being a little bit softer in life, being more receptive in life, and right now, just, it's great, but take some time. And I had to stop, and it's been over a year. It was so hard for me. I cried, but I did, and took the time to invest in not just healing that ACL, but listening to the messages that were trying to come from it. I had a chance to do a few things, including stem cell injections and exosomes or whatever, and including an Akashic clearing for it. And I said, I feel like there's still some lessons I'm going to learn in the process of working through this. And I've learned so much about breath work. I've learned so much about different modalities in my clinic and the process of doing it, of healing it, that has added to what I have to offer for people and for myself, but ultimately for people. And I guess that's how doctors learn. We kind of experiment ourselves. And a lot of that is what needed to happen. That is part of just life and health and wellness and easy living. That at the end of the day, the struggle and the pain that came from that is going to be a big thing that's going to bring so much more light to everything that I do as I move forward. Anyway, that was a long spiel. And again, start thinking about your health and wellness differently. Start resetting your mind and start thinking about detoxing, especially first when you're having issues, and specifically how you can detox organs that need to be cleaned out. What else is going on with any issues in your life that also need to be dealt with? And that's what I do here, and that's what I'm encouraging people to start doing, because the one size fits all is not going to work. And the sooner we get on that mindset, the sooner we will be able to understand what the AI is trying to teach us here. Because the one size fits all is for the robots, people. It's for the robots. It's not for us. It's that simple. Evolve with it and tune in. Be more intuitive. Get into you. What's specifically for you. Start tuning into you so you tune into other people on that level of spirit beyond what this AI stuff does. And then we use them for what they need to be used for, okay? And then we're still mastering our environment and our creations, and our environment aren't running us, because then it's a whole different space. All right? One love, everybody. Ashe, Ise,